Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into our latest UK General Election 2024 opinion poll tracker video. So it's been a little while since we did one of these. We was steamrolling ahead with the opinion poll tracker videos up to the 31st May. Then I fractured my ankle. So if anybody's wondering where I am, I've been in hospital for over a week, actually, about 11 days, waiting for swelling to go down so I could get my operation to fix my ankle. Anyway, I'm back home, and I've restarted the weather videos on the main channel, and I'm going to start doing some polling videos as well for the 2024 UK general election. If you're wondering why I'm in a rather different position, because I've got my leg up on the small sofa off to the left of me. So that's the reason I'm in a slightly twisted position. I have to keep the leg elevated and the foot elevated, you know, when you have a break. So I'm going to get on with that. We've got a new prediction from electoral calculus for the general election as of the 7th of June. And they'll go through, well, we can't go through all of the opinion polls that have been released since I've been away, because there's been so many of them, but we'll have a look at the most recent ones and the tracker chart. Just to say that if you're enjoying the vlogs and the videos on the channel at the moment, please do like, share and subscribe, and thank you so much everybody for doing that. It's good to be back. Right, no, I don't want to pause, I want to get rid of the webcam. There we go. Okay, so let's go to electoral calculus then and have a look in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Here we go. This is the latest prediction from electoral calculus. As of the 7th of June, they are predicting, based on the opinion polls, you know, up to that point, that Labour will come away with a majority of 294 seats. That's a super majority. It's over 100 above what Tony Blair got in 1997. Absolutely enormous majority being predicted there. This is how the votes are stacking up in the seats. So Conservative column just here on a predicted share vote of 22.7%. Absolutely atrocious, more than half down on what they got, 44.7 back in 2019. That gives them a central prediction of just 76 seats. Goodness gracious. The high end, they might still be on 236. They'd be very happy with that, I think. And at the low end, they could be as low as 43. Labour on a predicted share vote of 42.8%. That gives them a central seat prediction of 472. At high end, they could be at 511. At the low end, they could be 330. Liberal Democrats, 9.7, which is quite a bit below the 11.8 they got in 2019. But nevertheless, a central prediction of 60 seats. At the high end, they could go up to 73. At the low end, they could go down to 30. Note, it isn't that far away, but central prediction that the Liberal Democrats replace the Conservatives as the main opposition to the Labour government. So you've got Conservatives 76, Liberal Democrats 60. So only 16 more would be needed to see the Liberal Democrats replacing the Conservatives. I'm not sure what happens if there's a tie, by the way. At the high end, they do replace the Conservatives. Well, no, they don't quite, but they are very close. Just 3 seats to replacing the Conservatives as His Majesty's official opposition. But we aren't that far away from seeing crossover between the Liberal Democrats and the Conservatives as to who becomes the opposition. Absolutely incredible numbers. It's hard to believe this is how the election will play out, but who knows, you know, it's only go by what the data show. Reform on a predicted share vote of 13.8 gives them a central prediction of just 1 seat. They could be as high as 6. They could come away with nothing. And Greens on central prediction of 5.7 gives them a central seat prediction of 2 seats. At high end, they could be on 2. Low end, they could be on 0. SNP, 3.2%, with just a central prediction of 16 seats, way below the 48 they got in 2019. At the high end, they could still be on 34. At the low end, they could drop down just 4 seats. And finally, Plaid, 0.7% with a central prediction of 3 seats. At high end, they could be on 5. Low end, they could go down to 1. So that gives a Labour supermajority of 294, which would be absolutely incredible. I don't think there's ever been a majority government that's been as large as that. I don't think there's a majority of the government has got 300 seats. Let's have a look at the opinion polls based upon that prediction, Ben. So there have been loads and loads and loads of polls since I fractured my ankle around the 31st of May. Down here, we can't go through all of them, unfortunately, but we will have a look at some of the more recent polls. Basically, there's not been a great deal of movement, other than there was quite a significant development with Nigel Farage becoming the leader of Reform last week, and that has had a bit of an impact. So we'll have a look at that in a second on the graph, but let's just very quickly go through some of the numbers. So the most recent poll is more in common, 11th to 12th of June, showing Conservatives on 25%, Labour on 41%, Liberal Democrats on 10%, SNP 3, Greens 5 and Reform 13 gives Labour an overall lead of 21%. Before that, there was an interesting YouGov poll which gave the Conservatives just 18% of the vote. Goodness gracious. Labour, though, down to 38%, dropping under 40% in that poll as well. Liberal Democrats 15%. SNP 2, Greens 8, very high Green number there. That might account for some of the Labour drop. And look at Reform, 17% for Reform, just 1% under the Conservatives. So really not far from a Conservative Reform crossover there with YouGov focal data from the 7th to the 11th of June shows Conservatives 24%, Labour 42%, Liberal Democrats 9%, SNP 3%, Greens 5%, and Reform on 15%. Salvation, probably our most reliable pollster since 2015. General election, showing the Conservatives down to 23%, Labour on 41%, Liberal Democrats on 10%, SNP on 3%. Greens on 6% and Reform on 12%. By the way, that's a 20% lead, an 18% lead, and 18% lead just there. I don't know who this is, Verian. That's a new name in the polling, industry, I think. No, they're going for 20% Conservatives, 41% Labour, Liberal Democrats 11%, SNP 3%, Green 8%, Reform 15%, and overall 21% lead for Labour. They've got Redfield-Wilton from Monday, had the Conservatives down just 19%. Extraordinary numbers, these. 45% for Labour, 10% for the Liberal Democrats, 3% for SNP. Greens on 5%. Look at Reform, 17% there with Redfield-Wilton for Reform. There's been more polls as well. Let's look at Savanta. They have Conservatives on 25, Labour on 44. Lib Dems on 9, SNP on 3, Greens on 4, and Reform a little bit lower, 10%. That's a 19% lead overall. That one was a 22% lead, by the way, and this one was a 26% lead, Redfield-Wilton. And then from the weekend, where we had Delta poll turn up, they gave Labour a 25% lead, very large lead for Delta poll, and Opinion, which should be a little bit lower with the Labour lead, nevertheless still had an 18% overall Labour lead there. So if we have a look at the polling graph, this is what's happened. And we have seen a drop for both Labour and the Conservatives, but it kind of evening itself out in the overall Labour lead. So you can see that Reform is clearly lifting up there since Nigel Farage became the leader of Reform last week. Conservatives are dropping as the campaign going along. Labour's trend line is also dropping as well. But as I say, the Labour and Conservative drops there are kind of evening themselves out, I think, which means that the overall Labour lead isn't changing. But the main development has been, Reform lifting up. Could we eventually see a Conservative Reform crossover? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Going to be very interesting over the next few weeks as we see how all of this plays out. Right, okay, so there we go. We're back up and running with our polling videos. I'll try and get these done fairly regularly, and we'll pick it up, from where we left off in terms of those opinion polls from now on. Let's move the seat a little bit closer. We'll pick it up from where I left off, from now onwards. So hopefully we won't miss any of the polls. I have to take out a chunk of them and whatnot. It's Wednesday today, so the next polling roundup we'll might do one on Friday, definitely, well, hopefully, as long as everything's all right with the ankle, do a Saturday night polling roundup on Saturday. But, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thanks so much for doing that. And this very, very interesting general election continues, and we'll keep you updated. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.